Boom shakalaka! Piss off Leicester City. Bet you're feeling pretty shitty. I don't know why we wanted Maguire. He's fucking shit. Hey everyone, how's it going? It's the Flying Pig here on Flying Pig United. Boom shakalaka, get in there my son. First game of the season, first win in the bag. Have some of that, Foxes. Seriously, this feels good. This feels real good because they played a little bit hard to get, haven't they, in the transfer window? They sold Mahrez to our City rivals, but they wouldn't let us have Maguire, would they, the bastards? Well, we don't need that mug, do we? We don't freaking need that mug, no. Let's calm down now. It would have been nice to have got actually somebody in the transfer window. But what a start to the season that is from United. We can't really ask for more than that. I know we looked a bit ropey at the end there. I was shitting it when Kasper Schmeichel popped up at the end there. And very nearly created something, actually. I mean, that would have been unreal. What a story that would have been if that happened. Thankfully, it didn't. Thankfully, United were able to see out the game. And we've actually started the season with a victory. We've got Brighton next. Need to start the season very strong. Get going, flowing nice and early on. And as long as we can do that, it won't matter so much that we had such a shit window in terms of bringing quality players in. You know, Fulham, West Ham, Everton, teams making us look like a bunch of mugs with the amount of signings they made. Fulham made bloody 10 signings. United made 2 or 3. Or do we even count Grant? Is he going to play? Do you know what I mean? But this is all about Mourinho now. This is about Mourinho showing what a capable manager he is. This is a big challenge for Mourinho. In his career, he's come into new clubs. He's had money to spend. It seems like boards have always backed Jose Mourinho. Well, maybe he wasn't quite backed enough in this transfer window that's just gone by. He's going to have to use the players that we've got at the club now to get us performing and get us picking up the points and challenging for the title, which is absolutely what we should be doing. Need to close that gap on those bastards, don't we? City, I'm talking about. Of course, you know that. But, yeah, I mean, it's a great start from United. I was happy with the performance, especially for the first sort of half hour of the game. I think we started it like... very confidently, looked very nice. Some of the link-up play between the likes of Pereira and Fred, our new lad, was very, very easy on the eye indeed. I quite enjoyed it. We were working it very nicely for the first half an hour of the game. Sort of went to shit after that. But generally, you know, pretty happy with the performance today, considering it is the first game of the season, considering there was a lot of pressure on this game for not only the players, but also Jose, with everything that's happened. He has to obviously start the season well with the players we've got and show that he is capable of getting the best out of the players we have, which I think he did today. You know, Bailey, Lindelof, decent indeed. Luke Shaw's got himself his first goal. His first senior club goal. It's absolutely unbelievable. Luke Shaw's popped up, of all people, to cap it off at the end there and give us a two-goal cushion, which in the end we needed because we almost shat it away at the end there. Big shout out to my main man, David De Gea, with that unbelievable world-class save in the first half as well. He needs to get the credit because he does pick us so many points up on his own. So glad that Courtois has gone over to Real Madrid and plugged that gap because... there was so much speculation about us losing David De Gea, and just the fact that he is almost cemented now as a Manchester United player for X amount of time just fills me with absolute mangasms because he's that good. He will win us so many games and points on his own. He did that again today. Let's face it, if you take out that unbelievable world-class reflex save from David De Gea, then we draw this game tonight. That's the magnitude of the situation. He's that good. Everybody joining me right now live on the stream, thanks so much for stopping by. Do us a favour if you're tuning in right now, chuck a like on this video and get your comments flowing in and pumping in right now. Pump those comments in right now because I'm going to go through them and I'm hopefully going to read some of what you guys think about the performance tonight and some of the players. Everybody who's joining me right now, Major Woody says, come on United. Come on Major Woody, I've got a Woody after the win. Gungshi comments and says, get in there my son, get in there my son Gungshi. Alex Rudd with a super chat. Not good enough for Man U. Calm down, Alex. No need to be a negative Nelly, is there? It's the first game of the season. We had a shit pre-season. Hardly signed any freaking players. And we still beat Leicester City here. Okay, Leicester City are not really a top team, are they? But they're still a top 10 team. They're still a team who will be potentially vying for those European spaces. So it's a good win. Okay, it's an expected win, really, but it's a good win. We still had to do it. It's a potential banana skin against the Foxes today. And we were able to manoeuvre it with a victory. So I don't share your sentiments there, Alex. Alex Rincon with a super chat. Get in, Luke Shaw. Come on, my son. Love your comment there, Alex. Yeah, get in, Luke Shaw. It's been a crazy ride for Luke Shaw, really. Came in 18 years old. Lot of money, lot of pressure, a lot of money at the time, I say. Now it's cheap as chips, but came in for a lot of money at the time, something like 27 million for an 18-year-old. And he had a lot of expectation placed upon his shoulders from United fans. We want him to do the business for us. We want him to progress into this top quality left back. He started to do that actually, but then he got a horrific injury against Benfica, I believe it was. Was it Bruno Gomez or someone dirty bastard broke his leg, didn't he? But anyway, he was out for a long period. He struggled last season to make an impact, fell out of favour with Jose Mourinho numerous times. I think the situation as it is now is great for Luke Shaw because Jose Mourinho, with the situation the way it is, with not being able to go out there and necessarily the board get the players that he wanted, it allows Luke Shaw the opportunities. It really does, because so many people were saying we need to get a left back. And that is true, we are a bit short in that area, but if Luke Shaw can step up and do the business and continue where he left off before that injury, then who knows how good he could be for us this season. And not only that, we've still got the likes of Ashley Young to help out as well in those areas. Archie B with a comment. Pig, I won't lie, it was a very scrappy game. Yeah, I mean, after the half an hour mark, it was quite scrappy. We didn't look fantastic. Leicester could have easily got back into the game on numerous occasions. They very nearly did. With that Vardy goal, of course, and at the end of the game there, it was looking more and more likely that Leicester were the team that were going to go on and score. But they didn't. We managed to stay strong. We managed to get the 3 points in the bag, and that's all that really counts at this stage. Piss off, Leicester! So happy about this because, I feel a bit, I really didn't dislike Leicester too much, but just that whole Harry Maguire situation, they basically tickled our balls for a few weeks there. It seemed like it anyway. Did we get knocked back immediately? I don't know. But it seemed like, they were pretty intent on keeping Harry Maguire, which fair play to them. You've got to respect that. They're trying to build something there at Leicester City. They had Mahrez leave their star player. They don't want to lose their other star player, Harry Maguire. It's a big statement of intent by Leicester. But let's face it, they're just not quite up to the standard of Manchester United, even with a lot of question marks hanging over this United side. We've still got a lot of quality in there. Lots and lots of quality out there on the pitch. Happy to see Rashford starting. Lukaku was on the bench, of course, a little bit strange. Pereira got the nod today. I think that's fantastic because he looked decent pre-season. You've got to reward performances. And I don't think we were really expecting to see him start Pereira in this game today, but he did. And I thought Fred, the new signings, generally put in a good performance. A lot more to come from him. I'm not saying that he's going to be the fix to all our midfield problems, but he can certainly pass the ball around, Cardi. I thought he was very good. Gungshi actually backs up that sentiment and says Fred is a beast. Thought he was very good. Johnny Blowell, Fluke Shaw. Calm down, mate. You know what I mean? Could have had one in the first half as well. Reese Proctor comments, get in there. Shaw, man of the match for me. Good shout, mate. Good shout. Stephen Randalls, evening, Pig. Evening to you, Stephen. If I'm not reading any of your comments, I do apologise, but there's a lot coming through here. Thanks so much to everybody for getting in. Kerry Gray comments and says, Sanchez was a wank pheasant. Little bit harsh. I mean, to be fair, though, it was a quiet game for Alexis Sanchez. You do sort of highlight a good point there. Got an assist, though, right? But it's basically it's now is the season that he's going to have to step up and do it because he was so great for Arsenal. We know what a match winner he is. But since coming over to Manchester United, last season, for the remainder of the season, he just was not that good. He didn't set the world alight. He didn't really settle into Manchester United like you would hope somebody who's so seasoned in the Premier League to do. He sort of festered like a turd for the remainder of the season. Hopefully, there's no flies on it this year, and he can start doing it on a consistent week-in, week-out basis for us. But yeah, I mean, I didn't think he was very good tonight. Juan Mata, I thought, had a bit of an average game as well. But I love Juan. Lots of people saying Juan should go. None of our players should actually go now, by the way, because United and the board, Ed Woodward and co, are absolutely incapable of bringing new players into the squad. So it's imperative that we didn't get rid of some of our players this transfer window now. A lot of people saying get Smalling and Jones out. Well, imagine if we had have done that and we weren't able to sign a top quality centre back, we'd have been up shit creek, wouldn't we? So, but maybe the Bailey-Lindelof partnership is an interesting one. That's something that we could see. What do you guys think about that? I think there's a bit of potential there. I'm still not really convinced on Lindelof, but he did show some real good defensive abilities tonight. He did. I know we're only playing Leicester City, but can he do it against the big teams on the big occasions and handle the pressure and not make silly errors like some of our other players do in big games? The likes, I'm looking at you, Phil Jones, and actually represent United the way we need to be represented out there. Hopefully, Hello 838 comments, happy for sure, deserves something out of the game. 100%. Gungshi with an epic super chat here. Thank you so much, Gungshi. Really appreciate it, mate. He says, good to start the season with a win. Get in there, my son. I mean, it is. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter how we've played today. Like I said, we had a bit of a poor pre-season. There's all this hanging over us from the transfer window where we have underperformed in the transfer window. Like I say, Fulham brought 10 players in or something. West Ham, Everton, Arsenal. I mean, Liverpool has signed some unbelievable players this transfer window. We were left behind in the transfer window. So it's very important for us to get a good start because the confidence would go down, not only for the players and maybe the manager, but also the fans would just start to get pretty disillusioned with the way things are going if we lost this game. I know it's only one game. Can you just imagine the backlash that would have happened for the board and also for Jose? Because it's the next day. It's the next day from the end of the transfer window, and it just emphasises it even more. And if we'd have gone out there and somehow lost to Leicester tonight, I think there would have been absolutely freaking burning effigies all over of Woodward and stuff on social media. So, so we saved this bacon there anyway. Maximilian 7, hey mate, do you think Sanchez end product needs massive improving? I mean, I do, but I also think he has the class and ability to do that the very next game. It's just not quite happening for Alexis Sanchez right now. And it hasn't done since he's been in a Manchester United shirt. It's so weird. It's so strange because we all know what an unbelievable talent he is. It's not like he's gone to some far-flung league and has to play at a different pace, different tempo, all this stuff, and has got to adapt and acclimatise and all that stuff. No. I mean, he's got to acclimatise to Manchester in a sense, but it's the same league. It's the same league. The only difference, really, is the system, of course, that we play is very different to the way Arsenal were playing last season or the season before that, you know, under Arsene Wenger. It's very, very ticky-tackery, passy-passery, tacky sort of football. And Manchester United under Jose Mourinho is, well, you could say it's maybe the opposite of that. So maybe it doesn't really play to the strengths of Alexis Sanchez. We've heard this a lot. Players not quite fitting Jose Mourinho's system here. We've got a lot of attacking talents. We showed last season, why weren't we attacking teams more, Leicester teams? Why weren't we setting up to attack? Why weren't we doing that? Well, you know, Jose likes to play this balanced defensive counter-attacking style of football most of the time. But I personally think that some of the players are being shackled by that. Maybe Alexis Sanchez is a victim of that. Paul Pogba certainly was last year, I think. I think he showed in the World Cup with a bit more freedom, if you like, and maybe a bit more advanced up the pitch, that he can score goals from midfield and he can be a big game match-winning player. Did you see his penalty today? Cheeky Paul Pogba. I mean, he's done like this little cheeky little twinkle toes run up, cool as a freaking cucumber, and banged it in the back of the net. So I thought that was a brilliant penalty just for the run up alone. It's like, who does that? What are you doing, Paul? You know, I know you think you're really cool, mate, and you actually were. You actually were tonight, mate. You were cool. I like that. But just imagine if that didn't go right and he missed. Absolute mug. Kyle Fury, my moderator from another mother, he says, hey, Pig, long time no see. Long time, Kyle. Where have you been, mate? You're supposed to be moderating all these racist comments out of this live stream. No, good on you, mate. Thanks so much for stopping by again. Jason FIFA 7, Sanchez was a bit flat with touches. Yeah, I mean, he's just not quite up to it, is he? I covered it a moment ago. We know what he can do. It will come. Give him time. It will come. I don't think he's just the type of player that's come to Manchester United for a payday and to coast from Arsenal. No, he's come to Manchester United because he actually wants to win things. He may take a little bit of time this season to get going, but no doubt about it, in my eyes, he will get going because he's pure class. He is. Stephen Randall's top first game for Fred. Yeah, I mean, it was a really good performance from Fred, and there's a fair bit of pressure on him to perform because, like I say, the lack of movement in the transfer window. It's like, he's one of our big signings this summer. He turned out to be our big signing this summer. Fred from Shakhtar Donetsk, Freddie Flintstone. Today, he looked good. I was very happy with the positivity of his play, and like I said earlier, the link-up play with him and Pereira I thought was good at times. I enjoyed the performance from him, and I want to see a lot more from him, obviously. He's got a lot of competition still in that midfield, depending on what Jose wants to do. But it looks like he could be a good player for us going forward, no doubt about it. So, you know, if we got a top quality centre mid, that is at least something. That is at least something from this transfer window, and it could well turn out to be the case. So get in there, Freddie Flintstone. Yabba dabba do time. Nick Sparta comments with a very good point and comment saying De Gea deserved that clean sheet. Absolutely deserved that clean sheet. It was unbelievable. What a bunch of melts for conceding at the end of the game there. I mean, that is just infuriating. That is something we've got to kick out the game, 100%. Kick out of Manchester United's game, because we've got that in us. We did that so many times last season, conceding stupid goals at the end of the game there and ruin it for everyone. And like you say, De Gea definitely deserved his clean sheet. The Arab comments, Pig, how good was Darmian tonight? I was pleasantly surprised. All I wish is how good we would look with Alderweireld and Maguire instead of Lindelof. Great comment there, pal, because, you know, he got a lot of stick. A lot of people were saying things like he should have been sold this summer, myself included. I thought the little rat-bearded Italian dude should be sold back to Serie A because of his performances last season, not good at all. But tonight he showed that he can do a job. You know, maybe not in the very top games against the top opposition and that sort of thing, but you do need a good balanced squad to be able to come in and play a lot of the fixtures that we have. You know, we've got so many fixtures, we need to be able to spread that across certain players. He's a good squad player. He's not a great squad player, you know, but he did a good job tonight. I was very impressed with him. I thought he dealt with Leicester City's threat consistently well. And, you know, going forward was good. Matteo Darmian, you know, he's done something to convince in me that he deserves a place in the team and he can do something for us this season, definitely. But he's still got a long way to go. One performance against Leicester is not going to change my opinion of him because he's too inconsistent. That's the thing. Consistency is a major thing at Manchester United. We've got talent. We can see players out there who can do it on a one-game basis. Anthony Martial 1 week could look like the best player in the world. Same thing with Matteo Darmian here. Could look like a real solid right back. But then, you know what? The next week he's absolutely gash-tastic. Same with Martial, and it happens. And, you know, we need to get consistent performers out there. It's like Luke Shaw, before he got injured, he was our most consistent player that season before the injury. Can he do that again? He needs to do that again. This is his opportunity now. Ashley Young's aging. We've got rid of Daley Blind. This is his opportunity to really stake a claim to Manchester United's left-back starting spot. And do you know what goes along with that? What goes along with that is you know, playing in the England team pretty much. You know, if you're United's top left-back, then you're going to, and you're performing well, then you're going to play yourself into the England team. Now, I think Luke Shaw's the sort of lad that, you know, has got a lot of ambition and if he can just do it on a consistent basis, then he will be an absolutely fantastic player for Manchester United, no doubt, because he's got the talent. The problem with him was getting those silly errors out of the game and also doing it on a consistent basis. Jose didn't like certain things about his attitude as well. Last season, he highlighted a lot of them fitness-wise, things like that as well. But if he can listen to Jose, be mentored by Jose, and perform consistently, then there's no reason he can't go on to be one of the very best left-backs in the world, let alone the league. He's got the potential, he has. He's still a very, very young lad, really. So, yeah, Jose Mourinho's got to get the best out of this team. He is one of the best managers around, that's the thing, in terms of tactician, in terms of man management, in terms of, you know, playing mind games and getting the best out of his players. You may not like his methods. I certainly don't. I don't really like to see players criticised too much in the public domain, our own players, you know, by our own manager. But it does happen. And sometimes you get a reaction from it. And I think he's a very, very clever man. He is where he is for a reason. You know, he has an unbelievable record, unbelievable trophy haul. Come on, the guy's a fucking born winner, isn't he? He may look like a Portuguese Mr. Bean mime, but he is actually a genius when it comes to football management. He just is. You know, learn from the very best in Bobby Robson, and he's a man manager. He's a born winner. So I think we've got one of the best managers around, and it's sort of disappointing because I'd like to see us play more attacking wise, and we look over at Liverpool and we see Kloppy with his gung-ho attitude and the attacking football that they play, and that's unbelievable. But I mean, what do Liverpool actually win though? That's the thing. What does Klopp win? What's Klopp actually won? Do you know what I mean? Somebody would tell me maybe he won like a German Cup or something once. He's very good at getting to finals and bottling it. That's the thing with Jurgen. So I think we've got a winner. You can't always go out there and attack and play beautiful football and expect to win because other teams are trying to do that. Other teams are prepared to play ugly and hit you on the counter and soak up pressure and spit it back out and all that sort of stuff and play dirty. Other teams are prepared to do that. We've got to be prepared to do that, absolutely. Prog for Prog comments, I wanted to see Martial start, considering he's been on holiday since before the World Cup, fresh, etc. Yeah, I mean, I think Jose still got a bit of a thorn in his side about Martial. If what we're reading is to be, to be believed about him being fined, and Jose obviously making comments saying that he should have come back to training earlier, even though apparently he just had a baby and all that shit. I mean, maybe there's just a little bit of tension in there. I think Anthony Martial has a future at Manchester United, obviously, or maybe he would have been moved on this window. And he's just got to prove himself to the team, prove himself to Jose. That all starts in training with attitude and that sort of thing. I think he's still got a very good place. Alex Rudd comments though and says, I think Martial is going to go. It could happen. That's the thing. If the relationship has got all muddied with Jose Mourinho and there's no way back, then yeah, that might happen. But in terms of quality, he's got the quality. In terms of consistency, he doesn't have the consistency. But if he can get that consistency, could be one of the best players in the fucking world, lads and lasses. Roberto Bezic comments, Rashford was poor in my opinion, but he's a left wing, so not his fault. This is the thing. I mean, maybe since Jose's come in, Rashford's not really been played to his strengths. But I actually think his best position is probably striker, just because of that sheer pace, hanging on the last man, getting in behind, runs, through balls, running onto it. He'd be fantastic at that. A la Michael Owen, a la Chicharito Hernandez. That sort of a player I think he could be great at, But, yeah, I mean, I hear you. I wasn't blown away by Marcus Rashford's performances, and I haven't been for a little while, but he's still so young, still got so much to learn and give to the club, I'm sure. Alex Rincon, can we talk about how good Fred was? He looks like everything we're missing in midfield. Yeah, I mean, it is a breath of fresh air, really, because we were all a little bit worried. If the Fred deal turned out to be sour, if the milk turned out to be sour, we're not the kind of pussies to drink it, are we? But it didn't turn out to be sour. Not in this game anyway. It filled us with a bit more confidence, because it's all well and good going and looking at YouTube videos of Shakhtar Donetsk in the Ukrainian league and seeing him playing well. Doesn't really mean jack, does it? Because he's got to do that and it's got to transcend over to the Premier League. In that game against Leicester today, I thought he's looked really, really positive, really good, and I expect to see more from him. But really, for a debut in a game of that magnitude, starting the Premier League campaign, he's done absolutely marvellous. So yeah, nice one, totally agree. Fred was great, and Nathan Phelps backed that up and said Fred and Pogba decent. Yeah, thought Pogba was good actually, especially first half an hour. It's like he's doing some things that we all know he can do, like just pulling all of the strings wasn't he? Everything was pretty much going through Pogba, and I love that. When he's playing and when he's flowing and he's playing with freedom, he is so exciting and to watch, because he creates a whole lot of things. But let's just hope that Jose's taken the shackle off him a little bit. Right, let's read some more of your comments here, lads and lasses. To everybody who's tuning in, thank you so much for stopping by. Do us a favour, smash that like on the video, and if you're new around here, make sure you do hit that subscribe button for all things United, all things football, and all things bacon as well. This is the Flying Pig channel. Griffo Chaz comments, do you think the comments of De Gea rescuing United are fair? In my opinion, he just makes good saves, which is what a goalkeeper should do. Yes and no. I mean, certainly the last 3 or 4 seasons, you could argue that without David De Gea, we would have done so much worse in the league. But then you can also say that with anybody. If we didn't have De Gea, who else would we get? Would we have got, Lloris, or would we have got somebody else in there who's also going to save you a lot of points? Yes, we would have done, because that's what a goalkeeper does. But maybe we wouldn't have got somebody who will save you quite as many points as David De Gea, because I do think he is the best goalkeeper in the world. And if you've got the best goalkeeper in the world, then it stands to reason that he's going to get you more points than any other goalkeeper you get. So I think that I think it is fair, because he does rescue United time and time again. Like I said earlier on in the video, if he didn't make that world-class save early on and generally performed to a really high standard today, maybe we would have drawn that game. So he deserves so much credit, but I do sort of think it's kind of fair, but maybe not in today's performance, because I think it was an even game. Fair enough if Leicester absolutely battered us. It was a good game, It was a good open game of football, especially the first half. Second half was a little bit scrappy and shite. But generally, it was good, and I think David De Gea has performed admirably, and that's all we can really ask for. Alex Rudd, we've got to do a Man U versus Arsenal game. What are you talking about, like joining in on the old Google Hangouts live stream or something for that, Alex? We could definitely set that up, mate, 100%. seeing as you're one of the very special subscribers that tunes into this channel week in, week out. Liam Martin, Pig, can you do a live stream for the Arsenal v Man City game? I mean, I don't know about that, man, to be honest with you. I couldn't even do a live stream for the game tonight, so, you know, we shall see. I'm going to try. Alex Rudd, podcast. Yeah, good shout, Alex. Let's do a freaking podcast. Henry Hotspur's letting me down, isn't he? He's not getting in touch with times and dates and shit like that. Well, I'm going to replace him. I'm going to replace him with you. Oh, dear. Right, anyway, I can't believe I've been rambling for 25 minutes. I do believe it's like been about 8 minutes in my head. So that just goes to show you how buzzing I am and how happy I am that we started the season with a victory. So important to do that. It is. Because, like I say, there would have been so much pressure on the lads and Jose just from losing that one game against Leicester. Sounds crazy to say, but it's true. There would have been added pressure. We've got Brighton away next game, do we? Correct me if I'm wrong. I think we've got Brighton away. Very winnable game. Should be 6 points out of 6 points. And it's all about just getting this team and this unit of players that we've got right now, performing and Jose getting the best out of them. This is make it or break it time for Manchester United and Jose, because if he's not got United challenging for the Premier League title by Christmas time, then I expect him to be going. I do. I mean, of course, there's extenuating circumstances. We'll see what happens. If we're playing unbelievably well and have just been unlucky and we're in third and we're only a few points behind, it's not really the end of the world. But if we're a significant amount of points behind the likes of City or whatnot, come Christmas time, then I think, after pretty much 2.5 years in charge of the club, and you're not getting us to that next level, then it'd probably be time to be thinking about a suitable replacement. But right now, you've got to back Jose Mourinho. So many people giving him so much criticism. I mean, I have before, but I've always stuck by that I want Jose because I do believe he's one of the best managers in the world. And if you get rid of him, who else are you going to go and get? Somebody who's probably not as experienced, somebody who's definitely not won as much, and somebody who it may be just as much as a gamble or an unknown that they may be able to turn our fortunes around and get us winning things again. I say get us winning things again. He did us a freaking treble in the first season in charge. Just keep the faith in Jose for now. We'll see how he does. We'll see how he does with the circumstances the way they are without bringing lots and lots of players in like he's used to. He's used to just going out there in the transfer window, signing Didier Drogba, signing, whoever, Cesc Fabregas, friggin'. He signs some big players, big ready-made players for the teams that he manages, and he often gets the very best out of them immediately because they're ready-made players. He doesn't quite have that at United. This is, in a lot of ways, is the biggest challenge of Jose Mourinho's career is winning the league with this Manchester United team. If he can do that, then he's got to go down as one of the best managers ever, really, because how many times has he won at different teams, that sort of thing. If he can win the Premier League with this Manchester United side, which is no way a special United side. I mean, let's just go back a few years and look at the United sides that we had previously. If you look at this United side compared to Edwin van der Sar, Patrice Evra, Rio Ferdinand, Vidic, Gary Neville, Scholesy, freaking Giggsy. Think about Carlos Tevez, Cristiano Ronaldo, Wayne Rooney. That team is a team full of absolute superstars, and you expect them to win things and do well. This team, well, there's a few superstars in there, sure, but there's also a few absolute bottle jobs in there, and Marouane Fellaini. So if he can win the league with this team, it just goes to show you what a good manager he is. But he's going to have to pretty much do that, or at least challenge. He's going to have to challenge this season with the team that we've got. I expect him to do that. I still think we've got one of the best squads in the league. Probably not up there, really, with the levels of Manchester City in terms of depth. I even think Tottenham Hotspur probably have a better starting 11 than us. And then there's teams like Liverpool who've added so much quality this summer transfer window and already had a lot of quality. You could even make the argument that on paper they've got a better squad than us, which is a sickening thing to say, and I just puked in my mouth a little bit, but it's sort of true. If you look at it objectively, look at the lineup right now, with everything going the way it is, momentum-wise, you've got to say they look better on paper. But the game isn't played on paper. It is played on grass. And of course, Jose is the master of grass. Anyway, I'm pretty much going to wrap this video up, but I just want to say thank you to everybody who's tuned in right now. You're a bunch of legends. If I've not read out your comment, I apologise. Come back in a few minutes once this video's been published to YouTube and get your comments and thoughts in. I'll reply to them. So will everybody else. And, thanks so much for stopping by on this live stream. Chuck a like on it, subscribe, do all that jazz. You can follow me on social media at Mr. Flying Pig HD. That's on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram. Why have I only got like 500 odd Instagram followers? Okay, I don't really post anything on there. But maybe if I had more followers on there, I would. So go follow me over there. Twitter, Mr. Flying Pig HD. Facebook, it's Mr. Flying Pig HD. Anyway, you're a bunch of legends. Just going to do a few shout-outs at the end of my video to some people who I have not replied to. Kareem Oliver DeBelly comments, good night, Pig. Good night, Kareem. I'm going to sleep well. I hope you do too. Gungshi with a final comment. Our passing isn't good enough, not accurate enough, and too much side backwards. Yeah, it was always the way with Jose last season as well. Would like to see us playing a bit more attacking, progressive, direct football, because I think we've got the players to suit that rather than the system that Jose plays. But surely he knows best. He knows how he wants his team to play, and you can't deny the effectiveness of it. As good as Liverpool were last season and how emphatic they were in scoring goals and going forward, we still finished above them in the league. And that's down to Jose's tactics, basically, and his grinding mentality. He is the grinder. Do you know what I mean? I think if Jose was to create an app on the App Store, it would be called Grinder. Hang on, is there already one? Anyway. Harry Stafford, shout out to you, mate. Mr. Terminator 011, shout out to you, mate. Gungshi, I've already shouted you out, but shout out again to you, mate. Right, that's it. Philip Lomax, bunch of legends. Lascovi, Maye, and Nedis. Sorry, I butchered that, but there we are. I'm going to wrap it up. This is the Pig on Flying Pig United. I'm going to be bringing you all sorts this season, from match reviews, match previews, live streams. I know there wasn't a live stream for the game tonight, but there will be for the next game. I'm gonna try and do and commit more time to these live streams and stuff like that, and try and work around work schedule and stuff like that in order to be able to do these live streams, as in commentating the whole match. So yeah, because I do enjoy doing that. So yeah, keep a lookout for that, and I'll see you very, very soon. This is the Pig on Flying Pig United. Have yourselves a freaking good one. Have some of that Leicester City. Who needs that Harry Maguire mug? Who needs him? Come on, United.